Do you remember the trip to Vegas that Tiffany Teflon, the super mayor of Dolton, took using thousands and thousands of dollars from the budgets of Dolton, Illinois and Thornton Township? Thousands in first-class flights, thousands on hotel rooms, thousands on Ruth's Chris and Bubba shrimp and crawfish and crab legs. Thousands paid to employees out of Dolton's budget to the people who went on the trip with her, including police officers. Well, here's a piece of that story that you didn't know about. 2 trustees went on that trip with Tiffany Teflon Tahoe, the same 2 crooked trustees that's been supporting Tiffany, condoning her behavior, and even helping her deceive the people of Dolton. I've mentioned both of these guys before, Trustee Stanley Brown and Trustee Andrew Holmes. I have a complete case study on him. If you missed those videos a couple of months ago, I'll link them all below. Some of you may not know I'm the one that blew this story up on YouTube, and now Tiffany Tahoe is all over the place. National traditional media, syndicated radio, everywhere. Tiffany Teflon Tahoe and the City Girl Mayor nicknames came from me. That's what I named her, and of course, no one would tell you that because that's what these folks do. Say these things, then act like they have no idea where it came from. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have your notifications set to all, because when I speak on Tiffany Tahoe, you are going to hear nothing but the real deal. So Tiffany went to Vegas, then lied about using taxpayers' money to pay for the trip.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
As previously reported, she didn't just use money from Dolton's budget, but she also swindled money out of Thornton Township too for this trip. Trustee Stanley Brown, the retired mailman administrator, now over the finance committee, with 0 experience and receipts, he went with her. So did Trustee Andrew Holmes, the bought and paid for ambulance chaser wannabe Jesse Jackson Jr., but he's as trustworthy as Al Sharpton at the meeting with the Italian mob. For those who know, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, educate yourself. Both of these trustees have been helping Tiffany deceive the people of Dolton, and they love taking these trips with her to soak up all the resources. Now 2 other people who also went on the trip, their experience is being highlighted. They are both a part of a complaint that triggered an investigation into Tiffany Tahoe and one of those 2 trustees who went on the trip with her. One person was Mayor Porkchop's assistant at the time of the trip, a woman, and the other was one of the police officers that was paid to go on the trip, a man. The woman accused one of the trustees that went on this trip with Tiffany Tahoe of putting something in her drink, and she didn't even know it. The assistant, along with the officer on detail, both reported this to Tiffany Tahoe, and although Tiffany touts herself as the first black woman and the black woman who cares about this and that, here's another woman she didn't care anything about. She destroyed this woman. She allegedly saw this woman get swindled out of her you-know-what, and you know what Tiffany's response was? She then swindled the woman out of her job. Yeah, she got rid of her to cover all of this up. And that's why right now she is at the center of this investigation. Take a look at this bombshell report by NBC Chicago.
Right to those disturbing allegations against the mayor of Dolton and an unnamed village trustee. We've learned the Illinois Department of Human Rights is investigating complaints of sexual harassment and retaliation. NBC5's Regina Waldrop has been poring over the documents in the case, and you're here now with what they reveal. Regina?
Stephen, Marion, a few days ago, NBC5 obtained complaints filed with the Department of Human Rights through a Freedom of Information request. Now, they're filed against Mayor Tiffany Henyard and the village of Dolton and Thornton Township. A former female employee who was Henyard's assistant alleges retaliation, sexual harassment, and discrimination after she raised concerns about an apparent non-consensual sexual encounter between her and an unnamed village trustee. The Dolton police officer says in a separate complaint filed with the Department of Human Rights that he also faced retaliatory actions for coming forward with what he witnessed.
The incident allegedly occurred during an economic development trip to Las Vegas last May. On that trip, Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and a handful of village representatives, including her former assistant who filed this complaint with the Illinois Department of Human Rights, and 2 village trustees, We're not naming the woman because NBC5 does not name people who possibly were a victim of an unwanted sexual encounter. According to her complaint, the woman says she went to dinner with an unnamed Dolton trustee. The complaint then recounts the following events. After dinner, she says she started to feel disoriented, extremely lightheaded, as if the ground was moving. She says she blacked out. According to the complaint, the next morning, she woke up in the trustee's hotel room with no memory of how she got there, experiencing physical discomfort. She says after returning to Dolton, Officer Byron Miles, who was part of Henyard's security detail and went on the trip to Vegas, told her a trustee on the trip told him that the trustee had unprotected sex with her. Officer Miles has also filed a complaint with the Human Rights Department. The woman states in her complaint that after she was told this, she went immediately to seek medical care. Both complaints then provide details of a meeting which took place the following day with the former assistant, Officer Miles, and Mayor Henyard. At this meeting, the woman informed Henyard that she would never willingly have sex with the trustee. Officer Miles informed Henyard and the woman that the trustee called him that night in Vegas. The trustee, he says, then bragged about the sexual activities he engaged in with the woman, Miles' complaint says, suggesting that she may have not had the ability to consent or did not provide consent. According to the complaint, Officer Miles recorded some of this conversation on his iPhone. According to the complaints, the mayor said that if this information became public, she would be ruined, that all the work she'd done would be lost. The ex-employee says the mayor told her she would take care of it and to trust her. Days later, according to her complaint, the woman was put on unpaid medical leave, though she says she did not request to be put on leave. She was later terminated.
Tiffany Tahoe told this woman to trust her, and this is what she did. She swept it under the rug, sabotaged the investigation, and fired the woman. We're talking about the same woman who's going around using the excuse of being a woman as some sort of protection for us not to hold her accountable.
In his complaint, Officer Miles alleges that he was demoted to patrol duty, among other retaliation, for coming forward as a witness. They're asking for back pay, front pay, punitive damages, and attorney's fees. In a statement to NBC5, the village says it conducted a thorough investigation into these allegations, led by an independent third-party company. The statement goes on to say former police officer Miles was interviewed and denied knowing anything about these allegations, and the alleged victim refused to cooperate. The statement continues, this is nothing more than two disgruntled village employees trying to make off with taxpayers' hard-earned dollars. The village looks forward to defending these allegations and pursuing all other available remedies to the village.
So the attorney who represents both the woman and Officer Miles says Officer Miles is in fact still employed with the Dolton Police Department. He also told us a criminal complaint on behalf of Mayor Henyard's ex-assistant is imminent. Now, coming up at 10, we talked to 3 village trustees about the Department of Human Rights investigation and what happens next. Marion.
Regina, we look forward to that story tonight. Thank you.
The alleged victim is going to make a criminal complaint as well, so somebody may be going to jail. This is absolutely crazy. They're going on these trips, allegedly taking advantage of women. In this case, the mayor's assistant. The mayor found out about it when her assistant and one of her officers on her detail reported it to her. And instead of getting down to the bottom of it, they punished the woman along with the officer who reported it. This right here is absolutely disgusting and out of order. If you want to hear more about this situation, drop part 2 below in the comments. We're going to stop right here. Go ahead and let me know what you think about this below. Special thank you to Brady Yo. I appreciate you, Brady, for all of your support. My brothers Evo the Artist, Dark Power, and Mike G. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.